Admiral Kexathera clicked her mandibles in dismissive amusement as she reviewed the intelligence reports from the Outer Rim territories. Another species had been discovered, bipedal, carbon-based, calling themselves humans. The preliminary scans showed crude metal ships, primitive energy weapons, and what appeared to be chemical propulsion systems. Nothing the Galactic Empire hadn't seen 1,000 times before. "Schedule them for standard integration protocols," she commanded her aide, a four-armed Zelani whose nervous energy patterns flickered blue-green. "Category 7 civilization. Basic technological uplift package should suffice. The Galactic Sea. Empire had perfected this process over millennia. They would arrive with overwhelming force, demonstrate their superiority, and offer the primitive species a choice: join the Empire as a client race or face extinction. Most chose wisely. 3 solar cycles later, the Imperial fleet emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the human home system. 200 vessels strong, each one a kilometer-long testament to Empire engineering. Admiral Kexathera stood on the bridge of her flagship, watching the tactical displays populate with data about the human world they called Earth. "Curious," muttered her science officer, a crystalline Vorthon whose thoughts manifested as prismatic light patterns. "I'm detecting unusual quantum signatures from their homeworld, very faint but structured. Probably some crude attempt at energy manipulation," Kexathera replied. "Send the standard ultimatum. Give them 1 rotation to respond." The message was transmitted across all electromagnetic frequencies. Surrender unconditionally or be destroyed. It was a formality. No species had ever refused the Empire's generous offer of subjugation. The human response came exactly 24 hours later, broadcast from a small blue-green world that seemed utterly unremarkable. "To the Galactic Empire," the message began, spoken by a middle-aged human female with graying hair and tired eyes. "We are Dr. Sarah Chen, speaking on behalf of Earth's United Government. We appreciate your offer of membership in your organization. However, we must respectfully decline. We prefer our independence." Nervous laughter rippled across the bridge. The audacity of these primitives was almost charming. "Very well," Kexathera sighed. "Begin orbital bombardment. Target their major population centers first. The Empire's most advanced warships powered. Their weapons: plasma cannons capable of cracking continental plates, antimatter torpedoes that could ignite atmospheres. Enough firepower to sterilize a world in minutes. The first salvo launched, streaking toward Earth at near-light speed, and then, in the space of a single breath, everything changed. The weapons simply stopped. Not deflected, not destroyed. They ceased to exist, as if reality itself had decided they were no longer welcome. The quantum signatures Dr. Chen's science officer had detected suddenly blazed to life, revealing themselves as a 3-dimensional lattice of impossible complexity surrounding the entire solar system. "What in the void?" Kexathera began, but her words died as space around the Imperial fleet began to shift. It wasn't FTL technology. The Empire would have recognized that. This was something else entirely. The fabric of space-time folded, like origami in the hands of a master artist. Stars wheeled overhead in patterns that hurt to perceive. Gravity became negotiable. The speed of light was apparently more of a polite suggestion. Impossible readings across all spectrums. The Vorthan science officer's light patterns screamed in terror. "They're manipulating fundamental constants. The electromagnetic force." "Just changed value. On the main view screen, Earth grew larger, not because they were approaching it, but because it was approaching them. The planet moved through space like a marble rolling across a tilted table, except the table was reality itself, and someone had just given it a very deliberate tilt. More impossible things began happening in rapid succession. The Imperial fleet's weapon systems didn't malfunction. They were simply edited out of existence. The ship's hulls remained intact, but every offensive capability vanished as if it had never been designed, never been built, never been conceived. New transmission arrived from Earth. The same Dr. Chen, still looking tired, still looking entirely ordinary. "We tried to be polite," she said, adjusting her glasses with hands that could apparently reshape the cosmos. "But you insisted on being difficult. So let me explain something about human technology." The space around the Imperial fleet twisted again. Several ships found themselves floating in what appeared to be a pocket dimension, where the laws of physics had been completely rewritten. They were perfectly safe, but utterly helpless. "You see," Dr. Chen continued, "we figured out a long time ago that the universe is basically just information. Matter, energy, space-time, it's all just data in a cosmic computer program. And humans, well, we've always been pretty good with computers." Admiral Kexathara felt her exoskeleton trembling. Her species had ruled the galaxy for 10,000 years. They had conquered hundreds of civilizations, absorbed technologies from 1,000,000 worlds. And this primitive mammal was casually rewriting the fundamental laws of reality as if she were editing a text document. "The thing about ruling a galactic empire," Dr. Chen went on, "is that it requires a certain kind of thinking. Linear, hierarchical. You see a problem, you throw ships at it. You want something, you take it by force. Very traditional." Space folded again, and suddenly the Imperial fleet found itself arranged in a perfect sphere around Earth, with their weapon systems replaced by what appeared to be gardening equipment. Humans think differently. We've always been hackers at heart. Give us a system, any system, and our first instinct is to figure out how it works and then break it in creative ways. Your physics, your faster-than-light travel, your energy weapons, they're all just systems. And we've had about 300 years to study them. The terrible truth was beginning to dawn on Admiral Kexathara. The human ships they'd observed, those primitive vessels with their crude chemical rockets, they hadn't been warships at all. They'd been theater, a performance put on for the Empire's benefit. "Every species you've conquered," Dr. Cheney said gently, "we've been watching, learning, reverse engineering. Not their technology, that's just hardware. We've been reverse engineering reality itself, the source code of existence." The final demonstration was almost understated in its elegance. Dr. Chen held up her hand, and between her fingers, space parted like a curtain. Through the gap, Admiral Kexathara could see impossible vistas, galaxies rearranged like flowers in a garden, stars burning in colors that had no names, civilizations building homes in the spaces between dimensions. "The universe is big," Dr. Chen concluded. "Bigger than your empire ever imagined, and it's full of wonders you've never dreamed of. We'd like to show them to you if you're interested. But the conquest thing? That stops now." With a gesture that looked like she was closing a book, Dr. Chen folded space around the Imperial fleet and delivered them safely to their nearest star base, 1,200 light-years away. The journey took exactly 17 seconds. In the aftermath, as reports flooded in from across the galaxy of human ambassadors appearing spontaneously in the heart of the Empire's most secure facilities. Admiral Kexathara finally understood the truth that would reshape galactic civilization forever. Humans weren't a primitive species to be conquered. They were gods who had chosen to be subtle about it. And they had just announced themselves to the universe.